Hi, I'm Joe Walensky from Blink, and I'm speaking with some of the speakers who will be at our ConveyUX conference. I'm currently meeting with Tom Satwicz. Hi, Tom, how are you?
I'm doing real well, Joe. How are you doing?
All right, so where are you talking to us from today?
I'm in Seattle, Washington at Blink's offices right now.
All right, well, if you're not familiar with Tom, Tom's been with Blink since 2010. He's one of the senior staff involved with user research and design at Blink. He's going to be giving a topic called Developing a Cohesive User-Centered Research Strategy. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you'll be talking about, Tom?
Yeah, Joe. So the genesis of this talk, I think, comes from the kinds of questions we've been getting from clients recently. A lot of them have been coming to us and beyond asking kind of typical, hey, we want to make a great experience for our users and how do we make this more usable? They're looking for things like how do we inspire people to write, for example, or how do we help people engage in healthy behaviors, things like quitting smoking or adopting new healthy attitudes and things like that. And so, as we've confronted these questions, what we found is that some of the typical methods that we've used in user research aren't really sufficient for sort of understanding changes in people as they interact with technology. And so that's really what I want to use this talk to do is to sort of make that case that we need to expand the toolkit that user researchers are looking at and using, and to present some ideas on how to do that, and hopefully to really engage the audience in sharing their own ideas, their own struggles with this, and to, my main goal out of this is to really get kind of an ongoing conversation going amongst people, and to have it live beyond what we're going to do in this half-hour session or 40-minute session, and to make it into a bigger, broader conversation across the field.
Have there been things from recent project work that have stimulated your thoughts about wanting to move in this area and think more about this?
Yeah, absolutely. We've so I mentioned quitting smoking. We've worked with a group that is involved in developing a website that takes a smoking cessation program and puts it online. And we've helped them a lot with the aspects to make it a good experience, make with the visual design and the interaction design and so forth and things like that. And they have a lot of great data on this intervention that helps people quit smoking in really great ways. And what I think is that as we begin to talk with users, we need to begin to see how interacting with a technology in that way really affects their, a change in their own behavior and who they are.
And as you've been thinking through these ideas, are there any special skill areas that are different, or is this building on certain things that you've done in the past?
Yeah, so my background before getting into user research was doing research on learning. So typically I was looking in educational environments or really even in homes and workplaces and things like that. So I've really begun to think about some of the concepts that we use in the learning sciences and that field uses, and try to think about how to apply those to user research. So for example, one might be identity. How does somebody think about themselves differently as a user as they're going through and interacting with the site? That's not really a change in the site, that's a change in the person. And we really need to think about methods that can capture that and help us design things that will help people achieve their own personal goals.
And so, how much do you think that an understanding of cognitive processes and disciplines from the learning side are important in UX growth?
Yeah, I think that's really pivotal, to be quite honest with you. And I think it's beyond, it extends from sort of what we typically think of as cognitive and being sort of psychological to also being social processes that exist between people, and how people set up their own sort of personal infrastructure and how that changes over time with people as they interact with people. So yeah, I think that's a really key aspect of understanding this and moving us forward as a field.
All right, well, this should be a fun discussion to have at the conference. So we'll see you in Seattle. Well, you'll be in Seattle, but we'll see you at the conference in February. So thanks a lot, Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. I'm looking forward to it.